Hey guys, it's Tammy. Thanks for joining me today. I have another design team project for the piecebypiece.etsy.com that I'd like to share with you today. First, I'm going to show you the products that I used, and then I'll show you what the actual project, and then go through a little bit of a tutorial on how to make it. So I used some of the fabric flowers that Bev carries in the store. She carries these in a bunch of different colors. This was a white one that I actually sprayed with some antique linen. So what I do is take the re-inker, put it in a spray bottle, add a little bit of water to that, and then it's a great color to kind of make like a vintage white. I use the satin trim, which comes in a bunch of different colors, and you'll be able to see the different colors as I go through the tutorial. So I use that, and I use this trim, which this is all I have left. I really used it. So it is a sheer kind of organza type fabric in the middle and then elastic on the edges, which made it perfect for this project that I'm about to show you. So those are the materials that I used. I also used a little bit of felt from my stash. So let me show you what I actually made. I made headbands. So this is the first one that I made. This is the second one, same material for the headband, but I used that satin trim to make this flower, which I just love. It's really very blossomed. It's about 3 inches across and maybe, I don't know, roughly 2 inches high, I would say, maybe 1.5 inches high. But this is my favorite one of all, and I want to show you, like I said, how to make this flower. The headband itself is really easy, so let me just take you through that real quick. So since this is the only piece of material, a piece of trim that I have left, I'm just going to have to show you real quick, but it's super easy. So what I did was to get the measurement for how many inches you'll need around your head, or the head of whoever you're making this for. I used my head and I stretched it out and then wrapped it around my head, and then while it was still on there I let a little bit of it go because I wanted it to be firm enough to stay on but not too tight. So that gave me the measurement for what I needed. Then I just applied a little bit of hot glue here and put it together like that, and that made the base of the headband super easy. I would suggest using a low heat glue gun, or a glue gun that's made for fabric. It just works a lot better, especially when you're dealing with synthetic materials like this. So that's the base for the headband for both of those. So let me show you how I actually put together the flower. So like I said, I used the satin trim, and for this flower I used about 21 inches of fabric because it was just the last that I have and I wasn't sure how much I was actually going to need. But I used, so that was a little bit over, that was 1 3/4 yards. For the other flowers that I have coming up that I'm going to show you, I actually just used 1.5 yards because I figured, I'm sorry, not 1.5 yards, I used 1.5 feet. And I used 1 3/4 feet for this. Just want to make sure. I wasn't sure if I said a yard or a foot, but that was the foot. So for the flowers that I'm going to be showing you, I used 1.5 feet. So it is sold by the yard, so that means you could get 2 flowers out of a yard. Okay, so how I start this off, I'm going to basically roll it and glue it, but I want to make sure that the back side of the fabric, so the non-shiny side in this case, is going to be on the outside. And I start off with, I want there to be a little bit of a hole in the middle, and that'll make sense a little bit later. And to do that, I just basically wrapped it around my pinky, and I'm going to just put a little bit of glue here, and then I'm going to put the ribbon on top of it so it will stick together. So let me just do that real quick. And I'm not going to make you sit through the whole me putting glue and sticking it on this whole thing. I just want to give you the idea, and then I'll swap out for one that's actually been glued all the way. And you're going to want to keep it even all the way around. So once you get that shape, or I'm sorry, once you get that shape of it around your finger, then you can take it off of your pinky. Or if you don't want to use your pinky because you're afraid to get the hot glue on your skin, which I wouldn't blame you for that. Just something about, you know, that round. It's probably about a 1/2 inch. So about that much. You could wrap it around. If you have a thick paintbrush, that would work. So then you just continue to, sorry, I'm going off camera for a second, to add the glue. So I added some glue right there, and now I am just going to roll this on top of it. And that's the process that you're going to use until you get to the end of your trim. And you just want to make sure that you have good adhesion all the way around. That's going to be important later on, and I'll show you why. All right, so you're just going to continue that process, add hot glue, and then stick down the fabric. And then the important thing is that the back of the fabric, the non-shiny side, is what is exposed. You want the shiny side on the inside. All right, so that's how you get started, and you continue rolling that around. And once you're done, it's going to look like this. Okay, it doesn't quite look like that yet, but it's getting there. So it's ugly on the bottom, but that's okay, because nobody's going to see that. So that's just your hot glue. So basically you've glued it around, and this should be flat, and that should be standing up like that. Now we're going to start shaping it. And what we're going to do, this hole is important now because we want to make this a concave shape. So, and you do that by really just pushing this out, and the glue is going to keep it together. One thing I just want to make note, if you're finished doing this and you notice that you have some gaps where the glue didn't take for whatever reason, go ahead and just open that gap up and stick the hot glue gun there, and get it to adhere. And you want to make sure that this has cooled down so it's nice and so basically the glue has taken to the fabric, and you won't have any possibility of it coming apart when you start shaping it. So basically you're going to continue that process. You're just going to push it in, and it's going to start to create that flower shape. Doesn't take a whole lot of effort. So sorry, I'm working around the camera, and if I could better position my hands this would be a little bit easier, but you get the general idea. It's not too difficult. So you can see it's already starting to take shape. I can kind of pull on the center as well, and then pull down, not too hard, but to get the shape, pull down on the bottom part, because that's what you're trying to do, is to get the bottom to stay down and the top to kind of poke out, poke up in the middle. So you can see now it's starting to look more like the other one. There's from the side. So I think that's good. That's about where I want it to be. So now what I did with the other ones is, once I've kind of got it in a good shape, I hold on to the center from the outside, kind of pinching that, and then I kind of flooded this with glue just because I wanted it to make sure that it keeps its shape. So let me just do that. And again, this is not going to be pretty, but don't worry about it because you're not going to see it. But that just kind of helps to keep that kind of a concave shape that you made. And then I pull down on the bottom, and then, you know, kind of pull up on the top, and continue doing that until this, you know, the heat of the hot glue has cooled down, and it's kind of keeping its shape on its own more. So it's getting there, and don't want to do that, which is kind of sticking on the bottom. But there, that's pretty much it. It's kind of taken its life on, you can see. So it doesn't take a whole lot. You do have to work it a little bit, and you can see right here that little piece is kind of sticking up. I would just trim that off, and so you want to just kind of inspect your flower and trim off anything that from the beginning or the end that might look a little out of place. But that's how it's starting to look. So it comes together pretty easily. So once you have that, and we don't have to wait for that to cool down. I've already done one, shaped it up, got the glue in there, and it's nicely shaped and ready to be finished off. So what I did was to get cut a felt circle. That was a pretty good size that fit most of the bottom of this. And I'm going to add hot glue around the outside and then into the middle. And by adding it to the outside, this bottom layer of the flower is going to stick down. So that's really going to help to hold that bottom layer down. And then, you know, the rest is already sticking up nicely. So I'm going to do that real quick. So I got my glue on there, and now I'm just going to set this down on that felt piece and try to center it, and then you can just go around and push down that felt to make sure that it sticks to that bottom layer. So now we have a nice clean back for our headband or whatever we want to put it on. This could actually even be like a corsage pin. Just put one of those pins in the back. Be really cute on a sweater or a blouse, scarf. So I don't have any more of this, so I'm going to put this on a headband just to show you how I did that. So basically this flower was backed with the felt, and then I had a second piece of felt, and I just glued that right on top, and that took care of that closure piece, or where these two ends were meeting, so it's nice and clean all the way around. You don't see any seams. So I'm going to use just a not a headband, what are these things called? I want to say rubber band, elastic band, I guess is what it's called. So I'm going to use the elastic band in the same way that I would have made the headband. So I'm just going to lay this here. I'm going to put a little bit of glue, and then I'm going to put this on top, so that'll cover that up, and then I'll have a nice little headband. And now you could do the same thing with a pen. You would put it down, put some felt on top, or open it up, put the felt down, and then you know, the pen would be open here, and then the closure would be sticking out on this end. So then you would have a nice little pin for your blouse. So I'm just going to stick the glue down. Okay. And I'm just kind of centering it in that circle. Now I didn't get it around the ends, but I can go in later and just tuck the gun under and get those ends down. Okay. So there it is. It's ready to go, and have a nice elastic tie on the end, and I would just use it as a little for my ponytail. And I think these, especially the headbands, could be used for any age. I would actually even use this like an elastic band for a ponytail, because I don't wear headbands, but I would definitely wear it around a pony. So there's that one, and then there's this guy, and remember, these come in a ton of different colors. So that's it. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little while, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And again, these supplies are all available over at thepiecebypiece.etsy.com. Bye-bye.